y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with some empties, and I have a bunch of them as usual, so I'm just going to jump right into this. And I'm going to start with one that I have been using up for 2 years maybe. This is the Hourglass diffused light, y'all. It is all the way gone. It perfects, doesn't make it overly matte, doesn't make it overly luminous. It is beautiful. But to use it all up in the corners and everything, I used it on my eyelid for a light eyeshadow. I loved this so much. It brightens under the eye, it's good for all over the face, and I loved it on my eyes. I am not letting myself replace it yet because I'm trying to use stuff up, but I loved that. Then I went through a Jergens Natural Glow 3-day. Okay, y'all, I thought I liked the Jergens Wet better, but let me just tell y'all, when I use this, I get a tropical glow from this. I use this one time, I start getting comments. Are you tanning? Are you self-tanning? What is that? This is my go-to over the wet. Alice for Living may have told me about that a long time ago, and I love it. Then I went through a Living Proof Full Dry Volume Blast. I have this in my hair right now. Anytime there's a sale, I buy backups. This is just great for adding texture. I just mist it all through and then just kind of rub through the roots, and this is great. Then I went through a John Frieda, it's covered in hair, Luxurious Volume Mousse. This is my absolute go-to. I don't like to mix this with anything because I don't like to change it at all. It makes my hair nice and full and not stiff. The subscriber told me about that and I love it. Then I went through a Burt's Bees cleansing oil. This is my go-to. I have one on the way, I have one in the shower, one on my vanity, and I love this. Gets everything off. I like the scent of it. It's kind of like a citrusy honey. This is lovely. I love that. Next, I went through an Ulla Henriksen Truth Serum. And y'all, I put this away for a while and used other things and then came back to it. I like the scent of it. It's got vitamin C and collagen, but I don't know how much vitamin C. So I still use my Timeless, but I like to add that for a little vitamin C boost. It just feels lovely. Okay, next I went through a Soft Soap Sweet Honeysuckle and Orange Peel, and this was so nice. That's very nice. Now, this did not take the place of my Holy Grail pomegranate and mango infusions, or mango and pomegranate infusions, but I liked it. I like all the soft soaps. They're nice and rich. Then I went through a Burt's Bees Gentle Foaming Cleanser. I already have 2 more in there. This gets everything off, does not strip my skin at all. And everything has always left me, you know, a little bit, not dry, but just I can feel that I've cleansed. Not with this. This is fantastic. I also went through a Hada Labo cleansing oil, and I liked this too. For some reason, I like the Burt's Bees better. I think it's the scent though. This gets everything off. It's very nice, but I replaced the Burt's Bees. I just love that citrusy honey smell, but those worked, I would say, equally well. If you like no scent in your cleansing oil, that's a good one to try. Next, I went through a Derma Blend. I used this to set. I used something else to finish with, but I love this for setting. If you want a drugstore option, the RCMA is pretty much the same powder, but I think the RCMA may be a little more finely milled. This is great. Okay, next I went through a Whispers Cotton Rounds, and I love these. Sewn around the edges so they don't collapse, they don't soak up too much product. I just use both sides of it. And I love the Whispers. I love that I can get those at grocery pickup too. Then I am tossing this 0.5 millimeter Derma Roller. I love this, and I did replace it, but last time I used this, I felt like it was ripping my skin as I rolled. It was kind of nicking, so I think a needle got bent, so I replaced that. Do that once every week or 2. Okay, next I went through a Peter Thomas Roth Potent C. This has THD ascorbate. It's a different kind of vitamin C. I believe oil soluble. The studies are great on this for reducing fine lines, encouraging collagen growth. I love this. Okay, next I went through a L'Oreal Liner Noir, and I probably will replace this. I haven't yet because I have so many liners, and right now I'm using the Lancome Art Liner, and I love it. But when my daughter was doing a wing on me, this was the one she picked. She said it was nice and black. She liked the tip on it. So these are really nice for a wing, and kind of a little bit stiffer. And you can go thick or thin with it, depending on how hard you press. I really liked that. Okay, next I went through a clearance toning lotion, and I loved the scent of this. This is for dry skin. I would replace it just for the smell, but I'm trying to keep my cleansers and toner, the price of those down, because I can do just as good at the drugstore. So I'm using Thayer's and acid toners. So I did not replace this, but I loved it. Okay, next I went through a Lancome Nuit and Jour, and I would have replaced this, but I think it's been discontinued. It was a pinky peachy beige. I replaced it with Beige Mirage, and this is pretty close. I haven't used it for real long yet, so I'll let y'all know about this one. But that's the Beige Mirage. It's very much like the Nuit and Jour. Okay, next I went through a small Cinderella Good Jeans. I did replace this. This is nice and active. It has a strong smell of lemongrass, but I can always tell it's active on my skin. It turns me a little bit pink. I love the scent of it. I didn't know if I would replace it because I have the Ordinary. I'm just keeping them both, so I kind of alternate those. Next, I went through I'm going to cover the dirty part, MAC Pro Longwear, and I backed it up, and I'm also almost through with another one. This may be the most perfect concealer on the market. It covers well, it doesn't dry, it brightens. The only thing about it is it clearly gets messy, and it's got that pump. So how I put this on, I squeeze it onto the back of my hand, and then I dip my beauty blender in it and put it on that way. And it's pretty convenient. It could be more, but that's the only downfall of this. So I leave this sitting out on my desk for touch-ups. But if I was just going to have one, it could be this one. Then I went through a little MAC Cleanse Off Oil, and this is so nice, but I found less expensive. My Burt's Bees and Hada Labo are both half the price of this, and it didn't last any longer. I would compare this to the Hada Labo. I haven't compared the oils and the ingredients, but neither one of them have a scent, and they both get everything off and leave me feeling about the same. So I loved the MAC Cleanse Off Oil, but I did not replace it. Okay, then I went through a Caress Love Forever, and I loved the scent of this. Yes, that has a very nice scent. I didn't replace it because I'm so oddly obsessed with the soft soap. So I didn't replace this, but I liked it. It had a very nice scent. Then I went through a Maybelline Dream Cushion. Y'all, this is beautiful. Maybelline foundations, I haven't tried one I don't like. I loved this for touch-ups, but I've decided not to keep it for touch-ups. I'm using powder after the gym now. This is beautiful for an initial. It's beautiful for a touch-up, but cushions don't last long, so I did not replace that, but I did enjoy it. If you haven't tried Maybelline foundations, I would try one. I went through a Laura Mercier Secret Brightening, and I did not replace this because I'm using the Huda setting powder in Sugar Cookie, and I love this. I'll tell you what I miss about this though. I miss this container. I think I'm gonna hang on to it for travel. This was great in my little travel bag, and I loved this. It's brightening, it sets my under eyes really nicely, but I like the Huda a hair more, so I didn't replace this, but I loved it too. Okay, next I went through an Exfoderm Forte, and I tried not to replace this. I was going to go to the Alpha Hydrox 14%, which I really like, but that does not make me as pink as this does, and I love to be active, so I did replace this. This has a lot of different kinds of acids, and my skin loves it, so I did replace that. Then I went through a L'Oreal in 910. This is one of the shines. I need to dig that out. I love this enough to dig that out, and I did replace it. I probably replaced it with 2. This is just the perfect pinky nude for me. It's that. It's that one. So I love the L'Oreal Shine in 910. It's one of my go-tos. Okay, next I went through an Ordinary Azelaic Acid for fading. And at first I felt like this was really fading stuff out, but it only fades to a certain point. It does not totally get rid of dark spots. If you have, some stubborn dark spots on your face, I feel like this faded it, but it never totally gets rid of it. It's good enough that I keep ordering it because it's so inexpensive. And I do feel like it softens spots, but it's not prescription strength. Okay, next I went through a Benefit Gimme Brow. And right now I'm using the Essence Make Me Brow, and I like that. And when I use this, I like this. So I don't know which one I'll keep. I have a backup of it though. I like it enough that I have a backup because this one is a little cone-shaped brush, and the Essence is straight. So I do think I like this brush better than the Essence. But, you know, if things are tight in a month or I'm by the Essence, I'll pick up either one, and I love them both. But I did replace that. Okay, next I picked up a MAC Painterly, and I loved this for over a year. This makes a nice eyeshadow base, but I've just started using concealer and CoverGirl Lid Lock, so I didn't replace this, but I did love it. It makes a nice eyeshadow base. Probably makes it stay on better, but I'm loving the power of that lid lock. It really makes stuff stay on. So I did not replace that, but it was very nice. Okay, next I went through a niacinamide. It's a B vitamin, and really more than anything, I'm just in the habit of using this. And I know niacinamide is supposed to be good for you, but I've been using it so long, I don't remember what it's doing. But I do keep replacing it, and I keep using it. So I do like my niacinamide a lot. I just don't really remember, you know, my skin before that. Okay, next I went through a Trader Joe's shea butter and coconut oil hair mask, and I did replace it. I can put this on before I know I'm washing my hair. I'll put it on while I make dinner. I've even run errands with this in my hair. Now I wouldn't want to go somewhere nice with it in my hair, but it's just not messy. It dries really fast in there, and my hair has gotten healthier since I started using this. Ellis for a Living told me about this months ago, and I love it. Okay, then I went through a small roller lash. This is almost always my top coat for my mascara, and I like it because the brush is, okay, the brush broke, but I'm going to show you the brush on my bigger one. I like this because the brush is stiffer and it separates my eyelashes. I like the way this separates my eyelashes, adds some length, and I really like that. Okay, then I finished up a Tarte Man Eater liner. This was my top until I tried the Lancome art liner, and I just, every single time I used this, I got a great line, and it seemed to last all day. I think the art liner is waterproof, and I can actually feel it drying on there, but this always stayed really nice, and I loved it. Always got a good line with that. Okay, next I went through an OGX Bamboo Fiberful Hairspray. I have about 6 of these. These just hold really nicely, but I can brush through it, so I don't have to wash as often when I use that. Then I finished up a bag of the Shiseido Cotton Squares, and I did not replace these because I used my Whispers. They're easier to get my hands on, probably less expensive, but these weren't bad. They're $10 for a big bag of them, and they last forever. They're super soft. I loved these for 2 years before I found the Whispers. Then I went through 2 Refresh Gel Drops, and I love these. Now, these will keep your vision blurry for a while, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But when they go into your eyes, it moves across your eye really slow. It is a gel, and it is so nice. I think this has done a lot for my dry eye, and I love it. Okay, next I'm tossing a sleep mask. Now this is random, but I wanted y'all to know I've talked about these in so many videos, and I wash these in a lingerie bag, but occasionally I will get them where they separate real fast on the edges. Not all of them, but occasionally. So I'm tossing this sleep mask, and just be aware that sometimes they do come apart at the edges. So I wash those on gentle and in a lingerie bag. Okay, and next I went through a tooth bleach, and I always have these in here because I love this brand so much. I get it from my dentist. You can get it on Amazon. I'll link it. And this is the Opalescence. I love it because it's a little bit thicker, doesn't drag out of the well when I put it in my mouth or leak out. So I love the Opalescence. Okay, then I have a couple of candles. I have the Bath & Body in Cinnamon Caramel Swirl. This was so nice. I will replace that. I think one of y'all told me about this. It does. It smells like cinnamon and caramel, and I loved it. I would replace that. And then I went through a maple cinnamon pancakes, and this smells like pancakes cooking. It smells delicious. It makes my kids crave pancakes. Okay, and that is all my empties for this month. Y'all let me know down below some things that y'all are loving so I can pick them up and love them with you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.